1988, Del Mar, California. Nissan had high hopes of capturing the championship, but they were over in an instant. Last year, Nissan finished second to Porsche in the Manufacturers' Championship. 1989, and this year, Nissan has come back with a vengeance. Chip Robinson has joined Geoff Brabham, and it's been a year of success. Nissan has already captured the manufacturer's title. And now, in the final race of the year, the battle is within Team Nissan. #1 driver Geoff Brabham versus challenger and teammate Chip Robinson. Reigning champion Brabham is looking forward to the challenge.
And we both want to win the championship very much. The championships are very hard to come by, and when you have a chance to win one, obviously you go all out for it.
To race against, you couldn't ask for a better guy to race against. And, you know, hopefully in the last 2 laps, it'll be he and I racing against each other, and I think we would both enjoy that a great deal.
But only one of the teammates can be the 1989 GTP champion. And now, today, Nissan presents the Camel Grand Prix at Del Mar. ESPN, celebrating its 10th year of motorsports coverage, presents Speedworld. A little over 20 miles north of San Diego, California, lies one of the most beautiful horse racing facilities in America. It's the Fairgrounds at Del Mar. But today, it's a horse of a different color. Hello, everyone. I'm Bruce Flanders, and today is the IMSA Grand Touring Prototype season finale. What a race it'll be. Covering the action with me is John Morton. And, John, we've got quite a field.
Got a real field, and for the first time in a couple of seasons, the Nissan team has been legitimately bumped off the front row, but not by the powerful factory Jaguars, by a couple of privately entered, normally aspirated American V8 engines.
Let's join another one of our colleagues, Mr. Chris Economaki, who's down on the starting grid with one of the drivers.
Everyone here is talking about the pole position in the front row. Wayne Taylor, a South African racing out of England, has put a Spice Chevy on the pole. Wayne, everybody is talking about your magnificent drive, and they're very pleased that an American stock block V8 engine is in your car. Can that car and engine stay there for the full distance?
Yes, I'm sure it can, and I just hope that there's not a lot of debris lying around, and I'm sure that the car will get there to the end.
Okay, how do you feel about this race and all those cement walls?
Well, no, the race should be good. I mean, if it goes like in qualifying and there's no little incidents, I'm sure we can win the race.
Well, congratulations and good luck to you. Now let's go down pit road to my colleague, Ralph Sheheen.
For Geoff Brabham, a different view this time as he comes up the front straightaway to the green flag. He's going to be looking up the tailpipes of the front row. He's starting on the second row. Geoff, you a little surprised to see the V8s up front?
Well, to tell you the truth, no, not really. At Tampa, the last race, Wayne Taylor was very fast, led the race, and I felt this track was probably more suited to them than actually Tampa was. So, you know, as soon as you start putting a lot of money up for first place, it kind of brings out the best in everyone. So it's going to be a real tough one today.
Well, not only are you running for probably the largest purse ever in a sports car race, but you got a championship to go after, and the guy you're battling with is your teammate. Any final words between the two of you?
No, we just wished each other good luck, and you know, hopefully we can go through the race without any, problems, and it'll just be a straight fight. It's kind of a unique situation, and unfortunately, if I was racing against another team, I think I might have an edge, but I have no edge when I'm running against the same car, so we're just gonna have to go and hang it out and try and win the race somehow.
Well, it's time for Geoff Brabham to put his driver's helmet on and get strapped into his Nissan, and we're going to go back upstairs to Bruce Flanders.
In just a few moments, Nissan will present the final IMSA race of the season, the Camel Grand Prix at Del Mar. And we're going to be coming back to Del Mar as wheels will turn in anger. In just a few moments, everybody is ready for this one. Today's race is being brought to you by Dunlop High Performance Tires. Dunlop outperforms. By Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the exciting, innovative, unconventional new spirit of Dodge. And by Quaker State Motor Oil. The big Q stands for quality, always has, always will.
From dawn's early light till the sun is set, Quaker State engines don't know when to quit.
Quaker State exceeds every single car maker's U.S. requirements for maximum engine protection. That's why in Atlanta, Georgia, the engine in every fire truck, every police car, every Atlanta city-owned vehicle is a Quaker State engine. The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
Okay, my broker, my banker.
Now there's an easier way active investors can combine all their investments in one place. A Fidelity USA Ultra Service account with one phone number to call 24 hours a day, one professional to talk to, one statement that shows everything. And Fidelity USA offers so many choices. Stocks and bonds at discount commission rates. Fidelity's wide range of mutual funds, plus hundreds more. Unlimited money market checking. A Gold MasterCard or Visa Gold. You spend less time managing phone calls and paperwork and more time managing your money.
You're all wondering why I've called you here. I've replaced all my accounts with this, Fidelity USA.
And now you can consolidate all your investments with Fidelity USA. For your free USA Fact Kit, call 1-800-255-5700. Call now, 1-800-255-5700.
The spectacle, the sights, the sound. The fall colors are spectacular on ESPN's college football.
Touchdown, holy cow!
ESPN hits you with television's most complete schedule, the only place to see all the major conferences. We'll show our true colors on College Football Saturday, live on ESPN.
Welcome back to Del Mar, California. We'd like to welcome you all to the IMSA season finale once again, and we're just a few moments away from some of those magic words that are going to be happening. And let's go down to the editor and publisher of National Speed and Sport News, my colleague who'll be working the pit lane, Mr. Chris Economaki.
And with Mr. Tom Dolan, Executive Vice President of Big Bear Stores, with those words race fans the world over can't wait to hear.
Drivers, start your engines.
All right, and they do come to life, cackling some of the most exotic turbocharged race car engines in the world. And we're going to be going 2 hours in that IMSA season finale. There's a look at the Toyota, and I think Willie T. Ribbs is starting in that particular car. We'll be doing the grid in just a moment as you look at the tension on the faces of some of those drivers. The grid begins to clear. Pace cars with all of their lights on are ready to start rolling, but wheels have not yet begun to turn. With me in the booth, John Morton. And John, the drivers with the helmets on right now, is the pressure in there like we always talk about on TV?
Yeah, it's probably even worse than you talk about. This is the most pressure-filled time, but when the cars start to roll and they're on the pace lap, the pressure kind of alleviates and they get into their racing mode.
With a GTP car, like most of these quality pieces are, how long does it take it to come up to where it's really operating right, temperature-wise and such?
Well, the biggest thing that takes some time is the tires. It takes probably a lap and a half on this track before the tires are up to temperature and the cars have the grip that they're capable of.
Pace car rolling, as you can see, the field beginning to move away from the grid area. And we're going to take a look at the field itself and introduce them to you. Boy, they are some nice-looking cars. Inside, front row, Wayne Taylor and Scott Atchison, the Pontiac V8 in the Spice chassis, taking the quickest time after qualifying. 64 will be Jim Miller and Bob Earl. There's Bob Earl's picture. Again, V8 Chevrolet in a Spice chassis. Moving back, inside row 2, a gentleman with a shot at that driver's championship, the Nissan GTP-ZXT. Number 83, Jeff Brabham will solo in that car today. Outside of that same row, Bryce Cobb, the Jaguar pilot, also scheduled to be a solo, the XJR-10, which can be so wickedly quick on this track. Inside of row number 3, Willie T. Ribbs sharing the driving chores with Rocky Moran in Dan Gurney's Toyota Eagle. And there is a picture of Moran. Row number 3 on the outside, soloing in the car, 84, Chip Robinson, the other Nissan GTP-ZXT. Inside row 4, number 60, Jan Lammers, the Jaguar XJR-10, and this kid is wickedly quick. Outside of row 4, Jochen Moss, that's whose picture you see now, will be sharing the driving chores with Dominic Dobson, a Porsche 962C. Row 5 on the inside, 00 the number, Johnny Winter and Frank Jolinski will be sharing the chores. Again, a Porsche 962C. Outside of row number 5, in car number 33, Costas Los, a Pontiac-Spice. There is row 6. Here's the rest of them. Number 62 is listed as Cole, McKittrick, and Klein. And in the 0 car alongside of them, Prix and Pescarolo. Okay. Next row back should be row number 7, and it is there the Vio, Di Benedetti, and Wallach and Andretti in the number 67 Miller Porsche. Row 8 is the Hessert Morgan. As we get into, you see the L, the number 9 Light. These are the smaller engines, and we'll talk about them. Also on that row number 63, a Camel Light car. Downing and Katz will be sharing the driving chores there. The 9th row, again a Camel Light. Car number 19 Light. De Lesseps and Cochran will be sharing the chores. 55 Light is listing 3 drivers, but I'm betting not every one of them going to get behind the wheel. Marlon, Ludweiler, and Roca. Row 10, points later in the Light Series. Number 4, Scott Schubot, and his co-driver, a lovely young lady, Linda Ludeman. And number 12, the Light, is Lopez and Roca. Row 11, Lights a bunch, Sutcliffe and Dow, and the number 79, Not Bell. Let's take a look right now at the race course that they will be running on. It's a challenging one, and to bring us up to speed on that, my colleague John Morton in the track description. John?
The Del Mar racetrack is a 10-turn, 1.6-mile, very tight track built in the parking lot of the Del Mar racetrack. The front straight is about 145 miles an hour, leading into a very tight right-hander. Good place to pass. Heavy braking. Second gear turn, accelerating out of that. A left-hander, sweeping but slow, followed by an extremely tight hairpin first gear turn, accelerating out of that into the 4th gear straightaway. Very fast blind left-hand corner. A little zigzag, and then a good braking area. Difficult to pass, but a possible pass here into the chicane. It's a right, left, very difficult, unforgiving turn. Accelerating out of there, 3rd gear, 4th, 5th onto the back straight. Just for a very short period of time. Into 4th again for the fast left-hander, leading into a hairpin. An excellent place to pass. One of the best on the track. Accelerating out of that hairpin. Fast right, left-hand combination. 4th gear, back to 2nd for a very, very tight combination. Right, accelerate left, right again onto the front straight, and that completes a lap at Del Mar.
It is the warm-up lap, the reconnaissance lap. The pace car has gone away, though, from the field, and the flag is green. We're racing just that quickly, and the season finale is underway. The V8's a pair head into turn number 1. It's the Atchison-Taylor car behind the wheel. Taylor, whom you've met already, as they go around on lap number 1. A lot of squeezing going on here on the track. There's a look at Brabham, who sits in the 3rd place spot in the number 83 car. Spinning is number 12. The number 12 car with a spin, Roca and Lopez. And there is damage to the car. They'll probably be bringing it around, John, and making a call to the pit lane, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's pretty early to have a mistake like that.
Okay, mistake. Or he'll probably find some reason to blame equipment, right? Out in front of it, it's still the V8s. Everybody is shook up over the fact that V8's on the front row, and there's an engine builder having a pretty good weekend here.
Mike Lozano is the first time, I think, in IMSA history that the pole winning car in both classes have been built by the same engine builder.
It is a 2-hour-long Grand Prix. The question in everybody's mind, will the V8s last the 2 hours? And for those of you joining us here at the top, it's been changeable weather. Yeah, I'd say it's changeable over the last couple of days. There's puddles around this racetrack, but the line looks pretty good at the moment.
It's pretty good, but we had a good rain last night, and that washed all the rubber off the track. So I think they're going to find it a little bit slipperier in the beginning of the race than they were used to in qualifying.
34, still Taylor. That's a good look at him as he takes that left-hander, a tight left-hander, a 2nd gear corner, John told us earlier as we went through that track description. And they've come up to speed right about now.
Taylor's holding out quite a nice lead for this early in the race.
The Jaguar and the Nissan. That's the battle for 3rd place. Brabham in the Jaguar and Price Cobb behind the wheel. Or, excuse me, Brabham in the Nissan, Price Cobb in the Jaguar. On board, yeah. Along with everything else he's got to do today, Geoff Brabham is the fastest ESPN cameraman this weekend. Take us for a ride, Geoff. Well, he's bouncing around in there a lot. Is that standard?
That's standard. You don't notice it when you're driving, but every time you see one of these in-car cameras, you realize how
strapped down, held down tight, whip it in there, Geoff. Brabham apparently cannot close on his V8s. Is there a torque advantage? It's a big
not so much a torque advantage as it is a response advantage. A turbocharged car, as good as the Nissan is, they have a slight disadvantage on a tight track like this because they're not normally aspirated. These V8s really sport between these tight turns.
Here in the very early stages of the event, number 34, Taylor in front of it. Number 64, Tom Earl at the wheel is second. 83, Brabham is third. 61, Coveted, Jaguar fourth. And rounding out the top 5 is number 99, William T. Witt. Oh, outside of the car, and you're looking right at the Jaguar-Nissan battle. The two turbo cars trying to close on the normally aspirated V8.
Brabham's got him in sight, but nothing. I don't think they're dangerously out of reach yet. He's keeping up a pretty close pace.
There is a race within a race. Two separate classes are actually on this racing surface at the very same time. The Camel GT Lights are led at the moment by number 9, Charles Morgan. 63, Jim Downing is in second. And 55, Nicky Lutweiler is running in third. The guy who could tie up the championship is number 4, Scott Schubach. Schubach currently in the 5th place spot in Lights, and that would be enough for the title. Willie T starting to close up on Price Cobb's Jaguar as they come under braking at turn 1.
Willie's doing a really good job in this Toyota. That car is a light car with a much smaller engine, but Willie has really gotten the knack of it.
That has been a developmental year for that whole operation. Dan Gurney's All-American Racer.
That's right. They lost both cars, the Eagle and the Toyota C car at Tampa, and this is the spare backup Eagle, so we're seeing a pretty good performance.
Now, an item I want to ask you, being a driver, Willie T is sharing the driving chores in that particular car with Rocky Moran. Size-wise, they are miles apart. I mean, you don't just jump in and adjust the seat.
No, it's a real problem. In fact, in a pit stop contest a couple races ago, Rocky broke his elbow trying to get out of the car. It's a tight squeeze.
Rocky Moran's had a busy last couple of weeks. He filled in for A.J. Boyd up at Laguna, the championship auto racing team's IndyCar ride. As A.J., many of you on ESPN are aware, he had a rough week prior to that IndyCar. Back on the leaders right now. And it is Wayne Taylor, number 34, in front. But suddenly, the Bob Earl car moving in close. Oh, it's exciting. It's early, and we're coming back to Del Mar in just a little while for the season finale. Please, come back and join us here.
Out for October excitement on ESPN. See the best ever team crowned at the Dream Bowl. Watch hard-hitting action on college football Saturday. See top golfers vie for the Nabisco Championship. Watch Olympic hopefuls battle at the U.S. team trials. Fall out in October with ESPN and TCI when you play Cable Close-Up. Pick up your monthly game card at participating Wendy's or TCI cable offices. Cable TV, it's what you want.
The battle for the lead as the sun has broken through the clouds and it is beginning to warm up. Not only warm up temperature-wise, but warm up in the battle for the lead as the two V8s are still in front of the turbocharged cars, and they're tied together by a very short rope. That's Wayne Taylor driving number 34 in front. Bob Earl, number 64, in the second place spot. Go back just a short little ways, and that's Geoff Brabham in the Nissan. And it looks like Bob Earl may be getting tired of second place. Is it that the tempo may not be quick enough for him?
Well, I think the tempo's plenty quick for him. He's just giving it all he's got. He's staying right with Baker. They're managing to hold off Brabham, but I don't know how long they can do that. There's an interesting difference between these two V8 powered cars. The car in front is a 5.4 liter V8, much lighter than the car in back. Bob Earl's car is a 6 liter. engine, and it weighs quite a bit more. So two different philosophies.
And that was a quick look at the face of Taylor, the young South African driver who shook him up in the single-car qualifying the other day, taking the factory teams down the road. Like, here's the fastest section. If you're going to make a pass here, it'll be under braking. No pass. Thought about it.
Thought about it real hard.
Through turn 1, on their way to turn 2. Left-handers a pair. Boom, boom. And the second one is a decreasing radius left-hand turn, one of the tighter on the course.
Yeah, this is a real tight turn here, and the Chevys have a significant, Chevy Pontiacs have a significant advantage there, I think, over the Nissan.
Well, we had an opportunity to talk with young Wayne Taylor a little bit before, and Wayne Taylor, we wondered what it was like to have to face up against these heavy hitters. Like, what does he think about driving against Geoff Brabham? Well, let's find out from Wayne Taylor himself.
Well, I don't mind having to race against Geoff because he's a true professional. He's a champion, and he's a very good driver, and I can learn a lot from him. And I know that I can respect his driving. I know he's not going to push me off anywhere.
Well, he may think he might not push him off somewhere, but if Brabham is going for the $150,000 championship for the driver's title and only Taylor's in his way, he might nudge you.
Yeah.
Is there?
Well, the first place in this race is the highest paying sports car race I think ever in America. $180,000 to win $30,000 per second. There's a fairly big margin.
Big differential. Now, the reason the money's so top heavy is that Camel Pyramid money,
The
right?
pyramid, yeah. They don't do a thing for second place.
I'm picking the top 4 cars that were just for a second all on your screen at home, and it is still, if you're just joining us, American V8s a pair in Spice chassis in the lead. You mentioned earlier about the fact that one is lighter, one is heavier. There's kind of a complex IMSA formula to do equalization that way, isn't there?
There is, and it's hard to get it right, but you've got quite a bit of latitude with these V8s. In fact, the car Geoff Klein's driving is a Spice, also with a 5-liter engine. It can be even lighter, so you've got to get the right combination, and all of the V8-powered cars are good on this track.
We understand there's a story down pit side, and Chris Economaki is there, so Chris, go for it.
Well, down here in Geoff Klein's pit, the rear end of the car is being worked on. There's a suspension problem. This is the same kind of chassis that's leading the race, and it's in second place. And people who are putting their hopes in the Spice are wondering if this may be a chronic problem. You see how hard they're working on the back end of this car, trying to get it rectified and back out on the track. Back to you, Bruce.
All right, thank you, Chris. John, any comments on that? I mean, suspension, you should have had it settled out yesterday, right?
Well, it's probably some sort of a failure. Who knows?
Okay, the top 2, it seems to me, are starting to pull away from the Nissan. Still, that yellow car, number 64, with Bob Earl at the wheel, sharing the driving chores we expect later, will be Jim Miller. But Bob Earl keeping pressure on Wayne Taylor, our current leader, as they go under the Goodyear Bridge at, what, about the second fastest point on the racetrack?
Yeah, just the second fastest, and the turn right after that where they are now is extremely fast, breaking into a very slow turn. That's a turn where you just put your foot on the throttle and hang on.
Traffic now. It's going to enter into the issue, and there's a big differential between the Camel Light cars and the GTPs.
This is a terrible track for traffic. Traffic can just ruin you on this track, so the driver's ability to get through is going to be extremely important, and Geoff is very good in traffic. Baker perhaps hasn't had as much experience in this kind of traffic as the other drivers.
Pretty good moves there. The light drivers, the ones with the slightly smaller engines, have got to be on their toes also, or they'll get punted, right?
They really do, but the funny thing about driving a slower car is you can't drive the faster cars race. You've got to just kind of mind your own business and let them find their ways around.
You're focused on the leader once again, the number 34, and it is Wayne Taylor at the wheel of the car. An unknown quantity to a lot of people.
Well, I'll tell you, about 3 weeks ago, or say a month and a half ago, nobody in this country, I don't think, had ever heard of him.
Focusing back now, we're trying to pick up our lights leaders. I think it'd be number 9, Charles Morgan, who is in front of that race within a race as traffic again playing a portion. You could also see some of the puddles that we were talking about. There has been some rain here over the last couple of days. At the moment, though, the sun is shining brightly like the Chamber of Commerce turned the switch on.
Yeah, it looks like a perfect race day. Another thing I might mention about these V8s, in traffic, they have a significant advantage over a turbocharged car. That throttle response is invaluable when you're threading your way through slower cars.
That's number 9, Charles Morgan, the leader of the Camel Light division. Second place in there is number 55, Nicky Lutweiler at the wheel. Third is number 63, a longtime competitor in IMSA, Jim Downing. Running fourth is number 19, Ferdinand de Lesseps. And sitting in fifth is car number 4, Scott Schubach. There was a story about de Lesseps. Not his fault, right?
De Lesseps, yeah, he's the great-grandson of the fellow who built the Suez Canal, Ferdinand de Lesseps, and worked on the Panama Canal. I don't know what that has to do with racing, but it's a pretty interesting fact.
It is. Like I said, it probably doesn't work in well, but they're focusing again on that light leader, the number 9 car of Charles Morgan. Morgan has a shot at this championship in this last race.
That's right. But to win the championship, Charlie Morgan has to win the race, and Scott Schubach has to finish worse than 6th. And it's hard to do that because there are only 8 cars in the class this race.
In the light division, and here at the end of the season, it gets a little tough to keep a lot of them running. We're going to be going to a commercial break right now, but trust me, we are coming back to cover this action at Del Mar. So please, join us once again right after these words.
One of the great advantages of working with Schwab is that you're dealing with professionals across the country in almost every major city.
I prefer helping someone to selling someone. To me, that's the Schwab difference.
The reason why I like working for Charles Schwab, it's an incredibly innovative company, and there are many things you can get involved in. It's not just stocks and bonds.
Call today for free information about Schwab services, 800-873-8900.
Hi, I'm Dan Fouts, and here's a great Christmas gift idea for the sports fan on your shopping list. For only $21.95, you'll receive a high-quality embroidered hat and T-shirt with your school's official 2-color logo. Proceeds from your order of this officially licensed merchandise will go directly to your school. Here's how to order.
To order, call toll-free 1-800-858-0800. Add shipping and handling charges. Allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. That number again is 1-800-858-0800.
Thanks for your support and have a great holiday season.
The winds of change are blowing in November on ESPN. Live Sunday night NFL returns with 4 great matchups, and College Football Saturdays feature critical collisions between the nation's top teams. A whole new season of college basketball begins, while season-ending auto racing thrills abound. Plus, the tennis year's grand finale, the Nabisco Masters, and the season premiere of World Cup skiing. It's a season of change in November on ESPN.
We're right back in Del Mar, and that is your new leader. There's been a quick change, and number 64, Bob Earl, has taken over the lead in the yellow car with the Chevrolet motor. That drops number 34, Wayne Taylor, to the second-place spot, and honestly, it puts number 83, Brabham, up in a tight position at third. That's a look at Bob Earl, a very experienced driver, in fact, an experienced teacher of race driving.
Yeah, Bob Earl is an instructor at the Bondurant School, and today he's giving everybody a lesson. He's got a significant lead over Baker now. He seems to be stretching it. He's only been in the lead about 3 laps. He's got a significant lead now.
The yellow car is your GTP leader. And there has been action in the pit lane. The Nissan's been in and out. There's more. Let's check with Ralph Sheheen.
Bruce, we're down here in the Jaguar pit lane. Chip Robinson just came in and out, made a normal stop at the Jaguar crew's got problems on the front end. I can't get my head around just yet to find out what they're doing, but they pulled the front bonnet off the car. They've changed rear tires, and we're going to try and work our way around here and see if we can find out exactly what is going on. See if we can grab somebody. What seems to be the problem with the front end of the car? We can't seem to get, everybody's pretty busy trying to get into the front end of the car. Can't get any words. We'll get a definite update and get back to you. Back upstairs to you, Bruce.
All right, thank you, Ralph. That was one of our key players in this particular event, and it has rearranged our top 5 some. It is still 64, Bob Earl, whom you're looking at in the lead. 34, Wayne Taylor is second. 83, Jeff Brabham third. 99, Ribbs has moved up to 4th, and number 60, Lammers, has taken over the 5th place spot. And it's Bryce Cobb's Jaguar that they are working on, or Jaguar, depending on where you're from. Back on the lead. Our leader, Earl, there. And back on his exhaust pipe is 34, Wayne Taylor. They've been playing that game back and forth some. We've had 2 different leaders is all.
It's a very fatiguing track. I'm sure that they're both trying to save a little bit for the end because this is a tough physical circuit.
Solo, if you are.
Yeah, and that's a big question in this race because we know Brabham is. We're not too sure about Earl, and we're not too sure about about Wayne Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor has a listed co-driver of Scott Atchison, who's a pretty quick little pilot also, and he's probably nervously biting his fingernails for his Nomex gloves as he waits for a chance to drive.
I'll tell you, that's a really pressure situation when you have to get in a car that's well into the lead.
Those are your lights, the Camel Lights. Number 9, Morgan, and right behind him, I think, is 55, right? Nicky Lukeweiler. Lukeweiler is second place, and that race for the GTP Lights is one of the closest ones on this racetrack at the moment. Still Morgan with a shot at the overall title. Nicky Lukeweiler turning in one of his best performances. Third place, 63, Downing. Fourth place is 19, Ferdinand de Lesseps. And in fifth, if he stays there, will tie up the title. That's Scott Schubert.
One thing about these light cars, they all have to change drivers. They're required to do that. So that could play into this.
By required, they have to do what?
They have a rule that says that the co-driver has to drive at least 2 laps or 3 laps or some sort of silly rule.
Well, you got to have rules, right? And everybody, I understand there's been some controversy over that because Schubert read the rule and has complied with the rule to the degree.
Right. Schubert has put Linda Ludeman, who is a good driver, but she never gets a chance because he puts her in under caution. They didn't mention in the rules that you have to drive under green, so he puts her in under caution, and he's done that several times and won the race primarily driving solo. We had just had an incident.
That was our second place car, the blue one, tagging one of the other cars, and some fiberglass has worked loose, but the second place, Wayne Taylor, has gotten through there and does not appear to have suffered any damage to that car.
Yeah, that was Don Bell he tangled with.
And Don Bell is normally a pretty competent pilot. Was Taylor trying to get through somewhere there wasn't room?
Probably. You have to make some desperate moves.
Let's take a look back at it, and we'll all make our own decisions. The leader's in the yellow car. He's through clean. And here is a slight impact. Now watch. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was Taylor.
Okay. Fault Taylor, according to my co-host.
Well, I didn't say fault. I mean, he had to do it, but he did it.
And back on the battle for the lead. The yellow number 64 with the Chevrolet. The blue number 34 with the Pontiac. At least it's so listed. I think it's a lot like NASCAR. It's called the General Motors normal V8 racer.
Right. This is the corporate engine.
Yeah. The difference
made in California and who knows where else.
Yeah, probably none of them make the smog rules here. The 2 of them breaking away heavily from 83, Geoff Brabham. And sidebar story to the Drivers' Championship that we were talking about. 84 Chip Robinson made an early call on the pit lane. As scoring, we have him now in 11th place. And if they stay in that order, Brabham has a check for another $150,000.
Yeah, that was, it may have looked like a normal stop, but there was no way it was a normal stop this early in the race. Chip had a problem.
Normal in a 2-hour race like this, how often would they stop?
They would stop once, right in the middle of approximately in the middle of the race. They have a window of a few laps, but the fuel mileage being what it is, they've kept it go just about an hour to make it.
One-on-one V8 battle. There are no turbochargers on those cars, and there's a term amongst racers that V8 will get off the corner, and apparently they do. Is he trying him under braking? Who thought about it? Let him know anyway that he was there.
That's right at the end of that long front straight, or that short front straight, and one of the few places you can make a move like that on this track.
The action at Del Mar is certainly exciting, and we're going to be back to keep you up on all of the racing here in the season finale. Come on back and join us.
Baseball cards really capture the action and drama of the game. They're great collectibles and a fun way for the entire family to enjoy the magic of baseball. As a kid, I had to trade to get all the cards for my favorite teams. Now I buy Topps baseball cards in complete team sets. With each team set, I get this attractive wall display. It protects the cards, yet they're easy to take out to review.
Choose your favorite team and call now. You'll receive all the 1989 Topps baseball cards for your team, including the rookies, for only $12.95 plus $2 shipping. Your money back if not completely satisfied. Order now and get 40 bonus cards, including the complete all-star set, absolutely free. These are genuine Topps cards with the player's complete Major League record on the back.
Sharing the fun of collecting baseball cards.
Not available in stores. Call now, 1-800-235-8000. Get your team set, the wall display, and free bonus cards. Call 1-800-235-8000.
Do you know what open-end mutual funds are?
The Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Money and Markets tells you in clear, simple English.
Do you know how to spot trends in stocks?
and what stock options are,
And 0 coupon bonds.
and the difference between Treasury bills and Treasury notes.
Everything you want to know about the sometimes baffling world of money and investing is in this remarkable 120-page book. And now it's yours free when you subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. Call now and you can have 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and this valuable 120-page guide to understanding money and markets. That's 13 weeks of the journal for the news and ideas you need every business day. And this guide free, which tells you everything you want to know about money and markets, now for only $34. Call toll-free 800-642-7400. Today's Wall Street Journal. Faster, tougher, smarter. Call 800-642-7400 now.
Welcome back to Del Mar as the two V8 General Motors cars are still taking it to all of these very, very expensive factory exotic prototypes. Spice chassis appear, John?
They're Spice chassis built in England and designed by a fellow named Graham Humphreys. We're giving the V8 engine all the credit, but it's also a very good chassis. The car has threatened to do well for about 2 seasons. It dominated Camel Light a couple years ago and last year, but now it's really coming into its own in the GTPs.
We keep hearing about these multi-$100,000 GT prototype cars. Is this an economical way to road racing, or?
It's economical, but not by most people's standards. You could probably get into one of these cars without any spare parts for about $200,000.
Oh, I get a couple then. Under the Goodyear Bridge they go, and once again they'll be coming up on traffic. And as John Morton has pointed out, traffic can really break your back on this racetrack.
Yeah, I think that's where these two cars, if the turbocharged cars have a real problem with traffic, and I think that's one reason you're seeing these guys pull away from Geoff as they are.
And here comes one of those moves that has to be done properly.
Yeah, this track, this is Del Mar, it's not Darlington. They used to talk about the Darlington stripe. Here you get the Del Mar stripe, and this way, this track gives it to you on both sides of the car. If you're going fast, you're really likely to scrape the walls here.
And the next car that he's going to pass right there is the number 63, Jim Downing. Now, Downing is running 3rd overall in the light category, and Downing, a smart racer, he's going to try and stay out of their way and make it easy for them to go by, as long as he knows who they are, I bet.
Downing is a really experienced driver. He's won just about every championship IMSA has to offer. He's driving his own car that he designed in his own shop. A guy named Sam Garrett works for him. They call it the Kutsu, and it's really a good car. He's going to try to sell them.
What's a Kutsu?
Well, it's a vine that they planted in the south to cover up the railroad beds, and it's taken over the south, so I guess he's hoping his car will likewise.
Take over. Okay. Yeah, 3rd in class in the lights is Downing. I didn't want to confuse everybody. The race within a race, and the lights race is currently led by number 9 Morgan, 55 Lutweiler, and 63 Downing. The point being that the faster cars are now starting to work and put a lap on the very quick light category. The yellow car there is your leader, number 64, Bob Earl, and he has now gotten himself a little bit of breathing room.
A little breathing room. It's hard to tell if Baker's giving himself some breathing room.
You know, there is a lot of other things that actually happen at this Del Mar Fairgrounds. There's horse racing season. There's a lot of other things. But one of the things they have here in California is some off-track betting. Ralph Sheheen had a chance to take a look at that, kind of up close.
There's another kind of horsepower here at the Nissan Camel Grand Prix of Southern California, and we found it right here in the center of the Del Mar Fairgrounds. It's off-track betting. And when it comes to picking winners, there's nobody that knows how to do it better than the experts in here.
I think the Jags are just overrated. I think the Nissan will beat it. I really do, yes.
Out here? Oh, I don't know the first thing about the races out there. This is where I concentrate in here. On the races here, yeah. You want to know something about the races in here, I can tell you. Okay?
We look at them. You got to look at them. I guess race cars must be the same way, right? They go by colors or engines or what? I don't know, but we go by how they look.
Well, I drive a Nissan. I know what it can do. I'd probably say a Porsche.
Well, you've heard what the experts had to say. For the actual winner of today's race, stay tuned.
What Gift for Men is back and better than ever.
Oh, he'll love it. He's not the easiest person to shop for. Picky.
He is so picky.
You should have seen his face when he got it last year. He
loved it.
Definitely getting it again.
Yeah, the old man did pretty good by him this year.
These shoppers have already discovered the hottest gift for men this Christmas. It's a terrific new video cassette presented by Sports Illustrated.
Oh, yeah. Super duper football follies.
Super duper football follies.
The Super Duper Football Follies. It's 51 minutes of hilarious football fun, including a bunch of brand new super bloopers you won't find anywhere else.
That is a really funny tape. I got it for my son, but I kind of like it myself.
It's perfect. I just couldn't believe it was free.
It's free?
You get the Super Duper Football Follies free with your paid gift subscription to Sports Illustrated.
SI ended video? Who wouldn't want that? Just called him up.
One call and you were done?
Yeah.
Call their toll-free Christmas hotline now and get the gift everybody's talking about. The free video and a full year of America's #1 sports magazine, all at a low Christmas sale price. Only $1.19 per issue. That's over 55% off the cover price.
That's before Christmas.
Worked for me.
He'll enjoy 54 issues, including the exclusive previews for baseball, basketball, and football.
The kid is a football freak.
The Sportsman of the Year, plus SI's giant 35th anniversary issue with over 300 pages of covers, photos, and memories. It's yours free. And the incredible 1990 swimsuit issue with the year's hottest swimsuits.
My brother loved it. He said, Beth, this is great. And am I going to get the one with the bathing suits?
You did?
Yeah, you did.
Brothers, fathers, husbands, boyfriends is perfect for any guy. There's even a card for under the tree. A full year of Sports Illustrated for only $1.19 per issue. And you won't be billed till next year. Save over 55% and get the videotape free. Just call their toll-free Christmas hotline.
No, it's nice and simple. You pick up the phone, you're done.
I have this one aunt who every year, without fail, gives me underwear. Underwear. I tell her, I would love Sports Illustrated. I'm cool with the underwear.
Welcome back to Del Mar. You are in car with Geoff Brabham. Watching Brabham work in the third position on the racetrack. Oh, excuse me, that's Chip Robinson. Ooh, Robinson is now listed in 11. And if you can see out the back of what he has in his mirror, the overall leader is trying to put a lap on Robinson. Number 64, Bob Earl, is just back behind him a little ways. Chip Robinson is working hard to stay in front of him. Wants to stay on that lead lap.
Yeah, that would be a bad thing to go down a lap. But it's bad where he is anyway. He's awfully well behind for his day.
Yep, 11. If he were to finish there with that in-car camera, it knocks him out of the overall lead position of the individual drivers' championship. Over his pocketbooks up. Now, as we look at him from overhead, the yellow car right behind him, that's the one that is leading this event, Bob Earl, trying to put a lap on Chip Robinson's Nissan. And as we said, Robinson doesn't want that to happen, and he's in traffic. This could be plenty serious as they're ready to go onto the brakes in turn 1 and going around the 00 car of Johnny Winter and Frank Jelinski.
That Winter Jelinski, the 00 car of Jelinski is running very well in 5th place. Very good performance for a 962 Porsche.
Now, let's go back inside. I mean, not inside the car again, but as you watch right there, Bob Earl has got to go after that Nissan with a serious vengeance.
He's got to get by it. There's no way he can dilly around behind it because that's going to cost him time to Wayne, and it's going to cost him time to Geoff.
We had a good look at both of the drivers there for just a second. The first one was Robinson, the second one was Earl of the pictures that flashed up there, and that's the way they sit on the racetrack, except that Earl is the overall leader of the event. Down into the sweep.
Earl's really trying hard to get by Chip, but to no avail so far. This is the second lap. Chip's held him behind.
Well, Chip did make a pit stop. That's how come he is so close to going down a lap right in here. And he wouldn't have made that pit stop under normal circumstances, as John Morton pointed out. But it appears to be working fairly well for him at the moment.
Well, the car seems to be working well. I can't imagine why he stopped. But it really did spoil his day because the window wasn't open for his fuel stop yet, and he's still going to have to make another stop.
Both of them are coming up on the John Andretti, Bob Wallach shared car, the number 67 Miller Porsche. John Andretti is behind the wheel of that car at the moment. And Andretti is listed in the 9th place spot. Robinson now listed in the 10th place position.
Yeah, Andretti's in a position to win the Porsche Cup, so he's the starting driver in this Miller car. Wallach will take over at halfway.
Robinson, one of our cameramen, working hard at the moment. Look at all of those gauges, buttons and knobs. John Morton, you've driven those cars. It's like getting into the pilot's seat of a jet fighter, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And when you're racing this hard, you just make up the numbers.
Do you honestly, of all of the gauges that are there, it's got to be the tachometer that you focus?
The tachometer is the only thing that really means a lot in a tight race like this. You look at the oil pressure once in a while, and if there's a problem, you look at something else. But these cars have telemetry. In the pits, they're reading the gauges.
Someone else is then aware of oil pressure and such and all of the various necessities.
Only the Nissan, I think, has it.
Going to the Camel Light race, the race within a race, and suddenly there has been some changes there on their leaderboard. Let's see. We show, I think, the number 9 car. Yeah, I think it is still Morgan in front of that race, but let's pick them up if we can as they come out onto the straightaway. You're looking at the Swatch car right there, one of the Pontiacs. That is the number 55. He is second place in lights. Nicky Lutweiler. Well, I'm being informed that he may be the new leader now in the lights. Nicky Lutweiler out of Switzerland, sponsored by the Swatch people. And as we said, with 2 different races out there, it's hard to keep up with it. Yeah, now confirmation. He is the new Camel Light leader.
It is hard. That doesn't fare well for Charlie Morgan, because he needed to win this race to have any chance of winning.
Camel Light event, an event within this particular drive. There's smaller motors. There's no turbos there, right?
No turbochargers. Up to 3 liters. Stock block for the most part. Jim Downing runs the Mazda engine. And a very complex formula for engine displacement and weight.
Overall, this is talking now, combining both classes on the racetrack. 64 Bob Earl leads, 34 Wayne Taylor is second, 83 Jeff Brabham is third, 99 Willie T. Ribbs has moved to fourth, 00 Winter and Chelinski have moved to fifth, Jan Lammers in the Jaguar is sixth. But there's a bunch of them coming at you at speed. Number 9, Morgan is back, a second car back. You're looking at 55, Lutweiler. Then there is a car in between he and the now second place, 9, Morgan.
Yeah, that's the Don Bell car that was involved in that incident with Taylor a while ago.
In third in that category is 63, Downing, then 19, Ferdinand de Lesseps. And you're back on the battle of does the Nissan go down a lap or not?
Yeah.
And number 64, Bob Earl, is still working on Chip Robinson. Lets him know he's there, maybe making the move.
Got him. He got him.
A stout one.
At the end of the straight, he got him, and you can see he's moved out considerably over Taylor. So he's got a pretty nice lead now, and he's got Chip in between.
Yeah, it seems also, of course, that camera angle is a little deceiving because Bob Earl runs off into the Southern California sun. He got by and pulled out a big distance in a hurry.
Yeah. Chip was, I think Chip's having a little bit of a problem. I'm not sure what it is.
There is your leader. Now, clear sailing in front of him. Do you get a chance when there's clear sailing like that to breathe? Is it relaxing at all?
Well, it is relaxing. It's the opposite of what was going on earlier in the race with Taylor right on his tail. That's an extremely difficult position to be in, especially on a track this tight with all this traffic. He's in a nice position now. He can't cruise, but he can keep up a good pace and not take quite as many chances.
Our leader is number 64, Bob Earl. The action from Del Mar here in the Camel Grand Prix will continue. So come back and join us.
This is Perspectives, made available by your local cable company.
Using TV as a teaching tool is not a new concept, but several cable operators and programming services are joining together to make using cable television in the school easier and more effective. Called the Cable Television Alliance for Education, these cable companies have committed time, money, and technical resources to provide thousands of U.S. schools with special educational programming and support materials for teachers. The Alliance has the support of the educational community and will begin launching its program soon. Thanks to the Alliance, the quality educational programming found on cable TV can be utilized to the fullest and will enhance the learning experience for both students and teachers. For Perspectives, I'm Leela Kokoris.
Opinions expressed on Perspectives do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this channel or your local cable company. Please direct your comments to this address.
and Miami and Florida State heat up an explosive rivalry. Get fired up for an awesome college football Saturday, live on ESPN.
But he wants to change to second. You see the car just up in front of you through the windshield? That's number 34, Wayne Taylor, and Brabham is right back on it now.
Brabham is right on Taylor, but Taylor is probably 8 seconds behind Earl, so Earl's got a pretty substantial lead, but it's interesting to watch Geoff try to get by.
There's a lot of glare off of the windshield. That's the move, wasn't it? Right there.
That was it.
Well, Taylor went into the pit lane, maybe. I got it.
Taylor did go into the pits. Taylor's in the pits.
New second place, 83, Brabham. And if Brabham stays right where he sits, he'll end up with the overall single championship. Let's go to Chris Economaki right now.
All right, we're down here in the pit. Scott Atkinson is helping Wayne Taylor get out. Now, this pit stop comes 20 minutes before it should have happened, so there's obviously some sort of trouble, and it apparently may be with the tires. They're changing all 4 tires on this car. Taylor is helping Atchison get buckled in. We spoke with Atchison a moment before he got in the car. He says there's some problems, but I don't know what they are, so they've not told Atchison what the difficulty is. I'm going to get a hold of Taylor now and find out if he can tell us exactly what the difficulty is.
All right, back up here, we got it for a second. As you saw, Atchison now getting back onto the racetrack. Out of the pit lane, enters the track. Driver's right after turn 1. He's going into turn 2 on stone cold tires.
Yeah, this is a tricky time for a driver when he leaves the pit, especially if he hasn't been out running, because he got very slippery tires for about a lap and a half.
Plus, if there is, like Chris alluded to, some problem with the car and they don't tell you what it is, you're going to have to find it out soon.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate to second guess. It might have been brakes or something, because he was gradually losing ground, and I don't think I think the problem was costing him some time, but it was a fairly small problem, it looks like.
We have rearranged the top 5. Still, number 64, Bob Earl on top. Number 83, Geoff Brabham is now second. 99, Willie T. Ribbs has now moved into a very competitive third-place position. 00, the Winter Jelinski car is 4th. 60, Lammers, first Jaguar in the 5th-place position. 86, Jochen Maas and Dominic Dobson sharing the chores. The Porsche in the 6th-place spot. And 34 is now re-entered and in 7th. The car you're looking at after the pit stop dropped to 7th-place position. And might go down a lap. Look back 2 cars and you'll see the yellow leader if I've got the right yellow car coming through traffic in a hurry. Number 64, Bob Earl, says, yeah, I'll go around him one more time. At turn 1.
Bob Earl just put a lap on Costas Los, too, so he's lapped the 8th place car.
And working on 7th, and very wisely, Atchison moves over and lets him by. The 34 car not going anywhere near as well as it was.
No, and it probably gets good enough mileage that they might go the rest of the race, but it was, I think they stopped for a problem, and
Let's go down pit side once again. Chris Economaki's there with a hot microphone and a story.
You look like you've had a tough ride, Wayne. What seems to be the problem?
Well, we had a similar problem in practice, and it's temper where the gearbox just suddenly sort of seized. And I was battling very, very hard with the gears, and I think what's happened is I got cramp in the top of my arm. And my arms went solid, and I was sort of losing a bit of control, and I thought rather come in and hand it over to Scott than crash the car.
Well, this means you have to make a second pit stop for fuel before it's all over, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's messed up a little bit, but, you know, I mean, the guys are running very well. The car was really good until my arm started going.
But you think Scott will have that same problem?
I don't know, you know, I don't think he might. I mean, the gearbox has just gone very stiff.
Well, tough break. You look pretty good while you're out there. Wayne Taylor with a gearbox problem. Back to you, Bruce.
John Morton here in the booth with me. John, if you put yourself in a position, or in Scott's position now, you jump into the car, you try to shift it, and suddenly it takes like Big Tanny's gymnasium. You've got to be pumping iron.
Yeah, well, Scott will take a lap or two, and he said, now I know why he stopped early. But it's hard to say. You know, it might not be as big a problem as it seems.
64, Bob Earl, the leader of the 2-hour. We've got a little bit about Bob Earl. We wanted to know about the V8 and why some people think it's faster on this track. Bob?
The puzzling thing for us is we haven't really done anything since Topeka to the car. run 3 races, and all of a sudden we're quicker than they are. And I don't know if it's us doing a better job or them doing a little worse. We haven't been around them on the racetrack to find out where we're quicker. I do know we have very good brakes here for some reason, and we are quicker on the bumpy section coming out of the chicane, but I think that's more chassis than anything else. I think we're sprung a lot softer. We can just get on the power harder with the bumps than they can.
Bob Earl, a very analytical driver, and honestly, if you go to the Bob Bondurant School of Driving, you might find him to be your teacher.
Yeah, pretty good professor. Right now, Geoff Brabham is about 6 seconds behind, and I wouldn't rule him out yet. He's pushing real hard. He's got his headlights on, and that means he's showing no mercy to the cars he's lapping. So
64 Earl, the leader. 83 Brabham second. 99 Ribs is third, but we're far from done in Del Mar. Come on now.
Baseball cards really capture the action and drama of the game. They're great collectibles and a fun way for the entire family to enjoy the magic of baseball. As a kid, I had to trade to get all the cards for my favorite teams. Now I buy Topps baseball cards in complete team sets. With each team set, I get this attractive wall display. It protects the cards, yet they're easy to take out to review.
Choose your favorite team and call now. You'll receive all the 1989 Topps baseball cards for your team, including the rookies, for only $12.95 plus $2 shipping. Your money back if not completely satisfied. Order now and get 40 bonus cards, including the complete all-star set, absolutely free. These are genuine Topps cards with the player's complete Major League record on the back.
Sharing the fun of collecting baseball cards.
Not available in stores. Call now, 1-800-235-8000. Get your team set, the wall display, and free bonus cards. Call 1-800-235-8000.
Welcome back to Del Mar. There has been action on the racetrack. The 00 car is involved. The Winter Jelensky Sachs Porsche. And that Sachs Porsche has taken a hit, but it looks like the driver is coming out of it okay. Well, he's getting out under his own power, so I'm going to guess that he's okay. But the car, whoa, that one has been hurt. Jelensky, the driver out of Germany, and it was an impact that was heard all over these fairgrounds.
Yeah, it was a hard impact. We felt it up here. And he was running in a very strong 4th position.
4th place, and I think we're going to have a yellow flag all the way around this racetrack, and we're going to come under a full yellow condition. Which Robinson
back in the pits. No, that's Brabham.
Brabham is in the pits. The pace car lights are on, but the pace car has not moved. And Brabham is trying to take it here. Let's go down. Chris Economaki is there.
Okay, down at Geoff Brabham's pit, and it looks as though his left front brakes are really smoking. This yellow flag came at a great moment for Geoff Brabham. He's taking on tires, fuel, and it looks like that left front brake is really cooking, but he's going back out and still smoking.
All right, thank you, Chris. He'll return, as we said. Pace car lights are on. The pace car still has not moved out to take control of the race itself. And there you are in Brabham's car. The Jaguar is in now, the number 60 Lammers, and they're going to work on the Jaguar, the Castrol sponsor. And Ralph Sheheen is there.
The leader's pit, so now we just came back to the Jaguar pit, and your leader's going to be coming in a minute, because the Jaguar pulled out as a normal stop for them. Now we're heading back to our leader's pit. Your leader, we're told, is going to be getting 4 tires and a fuel load and no driver change. Let's go back up to you, Bruce.
At the moment, you're looking at the number 67, shown on our board in 10th. That's John Andretti in for the stop, and they take advantage of the stops. They'll stop out of sequence if the opportunity. There's your leader in the pits, Bob Earl. This has got to be a quick one for Earl, because the Nissan guys have got their act together.
Yeah, it's fortunate that they get to do it under caution.
Let's check in once again with Ralph Sheheen.
All right, Bruce, we're right back down here with Bob Earl. He's getting a drink. They cleaned the windshield off. 4 tires, a lot of smoke from the brake area, but nothing that seems dangerous because they're not really paying a whole lot of attention to it. Little excess fuel comes spilling out. They wipe off the windshield. He'll drop back down off the air jacks, and they'll turn him loose. Everybody's off the car, and away he'll go. Bob Earl back out, no driver change.
All right, Jelensky is okay. That is Jelensky now relaxing on the grass, but the report we have got is that he is physically okay. Doesn't exactly look pleased or happy at this moment, and I don't know what some people's version of okay is.
Well, okay is when you feel good right when you get out of the car, but tomorrow he's not going to feel okay, I'm sure. He's rung his bell pretty good.
As hard as it hits, the bod does tell you about it a day or so later, doesn't it?
Yeah, tomorrow he's going to be a sore boy. It's interesting that Bob Earl has made a stop, and that should be his only stop, and they didn't change drivers, so that bodes well for their competitivity for the rest of the race, because Bob is a little bit faster than his co-driver, Jim Miller, who's also a good driver, but under these conditions, I think it was a wise choice to leave Earl in the car.
Pace car is now on the racetrack, and the number 86 car, who has not stopped, has inherited the lead. It's the Jochen Maas, Dominic Dobson shared driving chores, and the number 86 Haviland Texaco Porsche 962 will share the glory for at least a moment.
Well, that car shared the glory. That's the very same chassis, I believe, that won this race in its inaugural year 2 years ago with Jochen Maas driving. He's a very, very good driver, and he's getting the most out of a car that by most people's standards you'd have to say is an antique. It's worth more as a collector car than a race car right now.
And Maas is a specialist at making those Porsches go well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty good with Mercedes-Benz nowadays, but yeah, he's an excellent driver. I've driven with him on the BF Goodrich team a couple years ago, and he's really spectacular.
Well, let's take a look back and see what has happened to the Porsche. And there it is. Tow trucks are on site. Oh, my. As you said, a Porsche 962 now becoming a collector piece that's worth money. That one has only been driven on Sundays. Yeah. Low mileage, one owner.
Well, you know, you can, as long as you've got the nameplate, the manufacturer's plate, you can make a car out of anything, and that's the way the collectors do it. But this car has been pretty well rooted, it looks like.
Prior to the yellow flag, our speed average up until now has been 85.84 miles an hour. But it is time now for a track fact from Quaker State. This Quaker State track fact brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil. The big Q stands for quality, always has, always will.
In racing, teams are constantly searching for the new advantage and the way to get one up on their competition. Joe Flynn of the Nissan GTP-ZXT Turbo team has come up with something a little bit different. Joe, tell us a little bit about what we have here.
What I have here is basically an infrared thermometer, which shines a beam of light onto an object. We use it for our tires here, and it sends back a wavelength of light that it measures, and it tells us what temperature it is without actually coming into contact with the tire.
So what we're getting at is that you can aim your little gun across the paddock and maybe get a tire temperature of a competitor when they're not looking.
Yeah, that is possible, and I have tried that this weekend and with some success.
Is this going to be the wave of the future? Are we going to see GTP teams aiming these guns at each other all throughout the paddock?
Yeah, I believe so. I know a lot of teams come up to me and ask me what it was, and they expressed a lot of interest in it.
For this weekend at least, the Nissan team may have an advantage that the rest of the competition won't have when it comes to tire and brake temperature. I'm Ralph Sheheen with another Quaker State track fact.
We're getting to some interesting stuff, but at the moment, we're underneath the control of the pace car. We're under tow with that one. We'll be racing more in Del Mar. Do join us again.
From Rocky Mountain snow to Florida sun, Quaker State engines don't know when to quit.
Mine's pushing 250,000 miles.
Quaker State engines run strong and run long.
95,000 miles and no problem.
Quaker State is quality engineered to exceed every single car maker's U.S. requirements for maximum engine protection.
This car is new. I'd be stupid not to use Quaker State.
Quaker State engines don't know when to quit.
The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
It will hurt if I swallow. It will hurt if I swallow. It will hurt if I...
When your throat hurts, Chloraseptic works on contact. Because only Chloraseptic has the power of phenol to penetrate nerve endings and stop sore throat pain fast.
More juice, please.
Chloraseptic is fast relief.
Welcome back to Del Mar, California. The pace car has control of the event. That's how come they are all going so slowly at the moment. There's been a lot of action in the pit area, and the leader now is number 83, Geoff Brabham. Number 64, Bob Earl, who led for many of the laps, is second. Jan Lammers in the number 60 car is up to third. The Nissans have been doing very well. Don Devendorf is one of the reasons, and we asked him, what are the secrets to making this go so quickly? In 1984, when Nissan Motorsports decided to enter the world of IMSA GTP racing, their first call went to a small company tucked away in El Segundo, California. Electromotive Engineering houses a small team of automotive specialists headed by aerospace electronics engineer Don Devendorf. Devendorf had gained national prominence as a race car driver, having driven Datsun and later Nissan products to victory, first as a club racer, then as IMSA's GTU and GTO champ. And Devendorf's also a successful automotive engineer, and that's what Nissan needed.
When the GTP program was being started, they called us primarily because throughout the years, we were the team that was growing and doing better and delivering the results. And every time we got a bigger, more complex project, we always rose to the occasion and solved whatever the problems needed to be and made it happen and got the results thereafter.
But success didn't come easily. For 3 years, the team struggled. Then in 1988, all the efforts began to pay off as Team Nissan captured a record 8 victories in a row, only to fall 1 point short of the manufacturer's title. This year, Team Nissan has dominated the entire GTP season, clinching the manufacturer's title and ensuring the team also takes the driver's crown. Some say they've put together what is the most successful racing package of the decade.
I think that's really what we put together was just the overall package. The crew, the team, the preparation, everything else was just a little bit better, and then we added a few more races in the schedule, and we added more races where we did 2 cars. As far as our team is concerned, we've won both championships. As far as our drivers, it's between them, and they've got a battle to settle, and that's down to the last race, unfortunately. So, fortunately or unfortunately, but anyhow, we'll see how it works out.
Let's go down pit side right now and join Chris Economaki. Chris?
I'm with Trevor Harris of the Nissan Don Devendorf crew. When Geoff Brabham stopped, it was 11 minutes before the halfway mark, and at that time they thought they may not get to the end on fuel. But now the yellow flag, Trevor, makes a difference, doesn't it?
It sure does, but we'd like to think that we can make it to the end on the fuel we've got.
But what does the yellow flag go and give you mileage-wise compared to green flag going?
Well, it's something like a 3-to-1 ratio. So every yellow flag lap is definitely worth a couple of extra laps relative to running under green.
What about that left front brake? It really was cooking when he was in here. Is that a problem?
It could be a problem. We don't really know. We haven't heard anything from Jeffrey on that, so it's hard to say.
Okay, thanks very much and good luck, Trevor. Now let's go back to Bruce Flanders.
Thank you, Chris. And the racing here at Del Mar still under a yellow flag condition. But when we come back, I'm betting we're back into the racing. So join us once again from the Camel Grand Prix of Southern California, brought to you by Nissan.
If you've ever wanted to start your own business, get a paper and pencil ready.
Admit it. You've dreamed of being your own boss in your own business. Most people have. But where are you going to find the vital information to help you explore the opportunities that can lead to your success? Right here, in Entrepreneur Magazine. Entrepreneur Magazine gives you up-to-the-minute reports on solid businesses, new ventures, and what it takes to succeed. You'll learn the do's and don'ts of a business before you invest your hard-earned cash. In each informative issue, you'll discover the secrets, techniques, and million-dollar ideas that have provided people just like you the security and freedom of owning their own business. These successful people are no different than you, except for one thing: they got started. If you're serious about your future and want the satisfaction of owning your own business, then you should subscribe to Entrepreneur Magazine. A full year of Entrepreneur Magazine is yours for the base price of only $19.97. That's over 45% off the newsstand price. You also get the Be Your Own Boss catalog, 227 ways to succeed in a business of your own. Entrepreneur subscribers enjoy many benefits, discounts, and free access to expert business counselors. And if you order now, you'll receive this valuable bonus: how to obtain money for your business, methods of financing your new venture. You get all this for only $19.97. So stop just dreaming about starting your own business. Call now and let Entrepreneur Magazine help make your dreams come true.
We're waiting for your call now, so have your credit card ready and call us toll-free at 1-800-228-1900. Pay by credit card and you'll get an extra issue making 13 in all of Entrepreneur Magazine, the Be Your Own Boss catalog, the special subscriber-only discounts, and access to our business counselors. Plus, how to obtain money for your business, all for only $19.97. Order America's only Entrepreneur Magazine. Call 1-800-228-1900 right now.
Welcome back to Del Mar, California. We are still under the pace car situation, and we are at just about exactly the midway through the 2-hour race. So here it's time for our Volkswagen mid-race report, brought to you by the German engineered Volkswagens and your Volkswagen dealers. The current leader, number 83, Geoff Brabham. He's only led 7 out of the 46 laps that we've completed, and the yellow flag has knocked our speed average down to 74.726. They say there's been 2 changes between 3 drivers for the lead, and we are under the 1 caution flag, the 1 yellow flag situation that has been displayed for the drivers at this point. And under this pace lap procedure, John Morton, there is a situation now when they come back to a start, and we're looking at one closely, they separate them in a way, don't they?
Well, this is the second race they're going to try that, and what they're going to do is they're going to take the light cars, which is the other class, and put them on one side of the track, and the GTP cars on the other side. Many, many times these light races, the race within the race, has been ruined by the leader of the light cars making up a lap under caution on the second place light car or third place or whatever. So to make the scoring equitable to both classes, they're going to separate the cars. That's a little tricky on this track because the turns leading onto the straight, the start-finish straight, is so tight that it's hard to see 2 cars abreast there, but they're going to give it a shot this time.
Ooh, joining us right now up here in the booth, and I'd like to get a chance. Can we get a microphone on that? Okay. With us right now is Davy Jones, a gentleman who normally is the pilot of the Jaguar race car out there. And Davy, first off, welcome to the booth and the broadcast, and you're sporting plaster on your right arm. Let's start off with that. What happened to you?
Well, geez, I never thought that I'd make our last race of the season as a spectator, and believe me, it's hot outside, and I imagine it's hot in the car, but it is boiling in this booth.
We kept it warm in your honor.
You know, I'm saying I'll be happy to get back outside in the sunshine. Now my wrist, I just dislocated some bones in it and tore some ligaments. So unfortunately, it's an injury that just takes time to heal, and you can't rush it. So, you know, these things happen at times, and if you have to miss a race to make it better in the long run, I've got a heavy schedule next year with the Castrol Jaguar team, and this race is a race that you can go solo, but it is just so, as a driver, to drive solo here, it's well, you've got to be fitted.
Can I get you to stick around, Davey? Don't run away, but I understand we've got a report now from Chris Economaki down in the pit lane.
Well, underneath all of this flame-retardant clothing is a pretty blonde, Linda Ludeman. How long have you been suited up waiting to get in the car and replace Scott?
Just about 5 minutes since they started this yellow, but it turns out it's going to be a false alarm, and I won't get in right now.
How many laps do you think you'll do?
Oh, probably 3, just so nobody has any comments to make.
Well, what about the title and the chances for the Lights Championship with this driver change? Why wouldn't you stay in for a longer period of time, Linda?
Because I think Scott will be a basket case if he's not in the car and takes the checkered flag.
Is he a chauvinist?
Sort of. He's really supportive, but he really wants this championship, so we're going to do what it takes to get him the championship.
Okay, good luck. And now back to Bruce Flanders.
Thank you, Chris. Is he a chauvinist? I like that one. Davey, let's get back to the racetrack itself. As you can see, it is now busy as they separate them. You've been in some of these restarts. Tell me what's going through some of their minds right now.
Well, I think this has been a really good opportunity for the drivers that have been going solo to try and kind of regroup and get their thoughts back together, kind of relax, because when you do solo, I mean, the heat and the intensity of going from inside wall to outside wall all the time, as you just saw with Frank Zielinski. I mean, if you make a mistake, there's just no room for error, and these guys, they get tired, and the durability is tough, so it's a good opportunity for them to regroup and think about the second half of the race.
Okay, well, we're going to get more out of Davy Jones, and we're going to be back for more racing in Del Mar, so stick with us. Keep it tuned to ESPN and our broadcast of the Camel GT from Del Mar.
This is Perspectives, made available by your local cable company.
Using TV as a teaching tool is not a new concept, but several cable operators and programming services are joining together to make using cable television in the school easier and more effective. Called the Cable Television Alliance for Education, these cable companies have committed time, money, and technical resources to provide thousands of U.S. schools with special educational programming and support materials for teachers. The Alliance has the support of the educational community and will begin launching its program soon. Thanks to the Alliance, the quality educational programming found on cable TV TV can be utilized to the fullest and will enhance the learning experience for both students and teachers. For Perspectives, I'm Leila Kokoris.
Opinions expressed on Perspectives do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this channel or your local cable company. Please direct your comments to this address.
ESPN is your ringside seat for a featherweight battle. Abe Gomez faces Alfred Rangel as Budweiser presents Top Rank Boxing. Tuesday night at 9 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Welcome back to Del Mar, California. They look like they're snail's pace crawling right now. Potential green. The hammer comes down, and number 83, Brabham, says, I get to set the pace. The rest of you are going to have to work hard. Brabham, the leader. Number 64, Bob Earl, is second. Number 60, Jan Lammers in the Jaguar is up to the third place spot and makes a big move in traffic there. Another item of interest, the number 84 car, Chip Robinson, a gentleman with a shot at that driver's championship, stayed out on the racetrack during all of that yellow flag situation and has picked himself back onto the lead lap. Granted, he's at the far end of traffic, but he is now back on the lead lap and shown in 6th place. And while we were out to break, we were talking with Davy Jones. And Davy, you said Jan Lammers has been pacing himself.
Yeah, I think this is a type of racetrack with that you really have to keep everything clean, no contact, really pace yourself. You got tires, you got brakes that have to go the distance, and the driver has to stay cool and not try and overheat himself or work too hard. It's a two-part race. You pace yourself the first half of the race, the second half of the race. After your pit stop, fresh tires, fuel, everything, you're all set to go.
And your teammate Lammers is capable of getting with the program, isn't he?
I think he's a good fit driver, and he's going to be there at the end.
There is a yellow flag waving, and that is the reason why. A car dead in the water right there at the corner as they all avoid him. The first four, it is the
second place light car.
55, Nicky Lutweiler, the Swiss driver, is the reason of only in that one corner is that waving yellow flag. You NASCAR guys, they will only flag one corner often, John. Right?
Well, but if that car doesn't move soon, they're going to have to throw the yellow on the full course if they can't get him out of there, because that's a bad position.
Nicky Lutweiler sitting there obviously dead in the water as all of the competitors come by now in the light category and knock him out of the second place position in lights. Charles Morgan, number 9, is leading that category. 19 now. Ferdinand de Lesseps is up to the second place spot. Number 63, Downing, is third. Let's focus back on that lead, because I kind of figured that Geoff Brabham would get up or inside with Geoff on a clear racetrack. I figured Geoff Brabham would get up and start pulling away from him. But Bob Earl and Lammers in the Jaguar are not letting him go.
It's not going to be easy to pull away for Geoff to pull away, because even though now is the best time for him to pull away, he's got a clean track in front of him. When the traffic builds up, I think you'll see Bob Earl right on his tail and trying to make a move on him.
Davey, as we look in at that in-car camera, we're seeing sunlight hit the plexiglass a lot and cause glare. The glare we're seeing on that camera, is it just as hard on the driver with this bright sunshine?
Well, he's sitting a bit closer than what the camera angle is actually at, and it's not quite so bad. But as the sun will appear to get a bit lower and start peeking in down through where it says 83 up the top of the screen, it starts peeking down in through there. Then the glare, you start squinting a little bit. But at the moment, I don't think it's too bad.
Davy Jones joins us here in the booth. For those of you just picking up this broadcast, Davy, normally one of the Jaguar pilots, and there is the Jaguar in the third place, one of the cars he normally shoes around this racetrack. And Lammers is starting to get all over the back of Bob Earl's Chevrolet-powered car. We might have a great race for second place in just a moment or two.
We've got a great race for the first 3 positions. This is really this far. And there goes Lammers making a move on Earl, and he gets it.
Ooh, and Earl trying to come right back.
Couldn't do it.
And still trying to come right back. That's plenty good IMSA racing action.
Earl looks like he got a little damage on his front fender.
Yeah, that's not the most aerodynamic thing waving around as he goes under the Nissan bridge. A closer look shows that it isn't anything of major importance.
Well, it's probably one of his little dive planes. Little minor aerodynamic helper. Hopefully it won't make much difference.
Watch though, as Willie T. Ribbs is now closing on Bob Earl. Ribbs shown in the 4th place spot in the number 99 Toyota, and he's decided if we're going to go around him, I'll go too.
I don't think Earl's going to let him do that. This is the best time on the track for the turbocharged cars because there is no traffic in front of them, and they don't have that factor that they're going to have to deal with later.
There's a shot of Willie T. Ribbs with a smile on his face right now, but I'm betting there's a stern look inside that full base helmet at the moment.
Yeah, he's got his Muhammad Ali look on right now.
The four guys that are out there, Davey, well, we got them right at the moment. The four of them are like a single purpose. Go for it, right?
It really is. You know, after that long yellow and the pit stops, they've got fresh tires, the brakes have cooled down, and they've relaxed and cooled off a little bit from a driver's point of view. So they're really, for the next 10, 15 laps, you're going to see some real good racing. And on Bob Rule's car, the louvers on the front, this particular type of track is not really a high-speed track where aerodynamic glideness through the air is, you need that here. You need downforce here, and we've really learned to pin the front end down on these tight, twisty corners, as those louvers really have helped a lot. So it'd be interesting to see if it does affect his car much.
Okay, well, we'll watch it and see. And again, the Toyota Ribbs trying to close in. He sits in the fourth. Let me set the top five for you. It's 83 Brabham in front, number 60 Lammer second, 64 Bob Earl in the yellow car there in third. Fourth place is 99 Ribbs, and 86 is Jochen Moss, also sharing the driving chores there. Dominic Dobson. Those are the top five cars. And Chip Robinson in the number 84 Nissan has moved back up to sixth in the overall. Separating it over to the lights, number 9 Morgan is the leader. Number 19 Ferdinand de Lesseps is second. Scott Schubot in the number 4 is in third, and Linda Ludeman waits patiently in the pit lane. There is number 4. He moves over well and lets Lammers by. Looks in his mirrors once again and says, boy, you guys are coming in a hurry. Ribbs is suddenly trying to find room. Watch that move. Frets for third. Oh, back up with the number 9 Morgan. That's your lights leader. The lights battle. 19 de Lesseps is right on number 9 Morgan, and there are two different great races going on in two different spots on this track.
It is, and unfortunately it's hard to follow a lights race inside of this race, but it's a really good race. There's the Jim Downing's kudzu, currently running down in fourth position.
And he just went down a lap. That's the one-on-one battle. Those first two cars you're looking at, the one-on-one battle for the lights and victory here at Del Mar. Number 9 Morgan back in front of de Lesseps, but de Lesseps just right up there sticking his nose in underneath at the corner. Out onto the fast part of the racetrack.
I think those cars are teammates. I think those cars are prepared by the same team.
Doesn't look like they're giving each other a little extra room there.
No, it doesn't.
They're into turn 2 right now. Left-hander, followed by another left-hander. In fact, the second left-hander there is a much tighter one.
Yeah, this is the tightest one. Second tightest turn on the track right here. This is first gear for some cars, second for some. And this is that blind, difficult left-hand fast turn that Jelinski crashed on.
Both of you guys, I've got two of the best drivers as you take a look at the pictures of our different leaders there. I've got both of you here. How much, I'll start with Davey, how much do you depend on these corner flags? There are blind corners like this, you almost stake your life on it, don't you?
Well, you learn to sort of read the cornermen. If they're just holding the yellow out there, then you know that you can sort of, if you want to pursue through the corner with caution, just take it easy. But if they're waving it viciously and getting all excited, you know you better slow down because the track is blocked.
Yeah, you're on a track like...
Move for the lead, I think. De Lesseps just took over the Camel Light lead. And in fact, he's pulling away from Morgan so quickly that something is probably wrong with Morgan's car.
Yeah, Morgan looks like he's got a funny line through that. I think he's got a problem.
And it is John Cochran behind the wheel. It is not De Lesseps, and Morgan goes into the pit lane. So the former leader of the lights is in the pit lane.
As you were saying, Bruce, on a track especially like this, one of these cement line tracks, you really stake a lot of what you've got left on those flagmen because you can't see around the corners.
Morgan in the pit lane, maybe seeing his chances for the championship going up in smoke as he stopped there. We're coming back to Del Mar. Oh, right after these messages.
Okay, my broker, my banker.
Now there's an easier way active investors can combine all their investments in one place. A Fidelity USA Ultra Service account with one phone number to call 24 hours a day, one professional to talk to, one statement that shows everything. And Fidelity USA offers so many choices. Stocks and bonds at discount commission rates. Fidelity's wide range of mutual funds, plus hundreds more. Unlimited money market checking. A Gold MasterCard or Visa Gold. You spend less time managing phone calls and paperwork and more time managing your money.
You're all wondering why I've called you here. I've replaced all my accounts with this, Fidelity USA.
And now you can consolidate all your investments with Fidelity USA. For your free USA Fact Kit, call 1-800-255-5700. Call now, 1-800-255-5700.
Welcome back to Del Mar, California, as the season finale for the IMSAs, and you're watching number 9, who for laps and laps and laps has led the Camel Light division. He's just come out of the pits, but he is not up to speed and doesn't appear to be getting up to speed. We're approximately an hour and 15 minutes into a 2-hour-long race, and it's had an interesting personality. Number 83, Brabham, is the leader overall, and there's a shot of Brabham with the headlights on. John, you were talking earlier. You turn the headlights on, it's like a message to your other competitors.
Yeah, well, it gets their attention too. It shows up in the rearview mirror a little quicker than a car without the headlights on, but it also is, it gives them a little idea of what your mentality is at the time. And Brabham says, I'm coming through, get out of my way.
Davy Jones, we're on board with Geoff Brabham. You bounce around that hard in the Jaguar?
You do bounce around an awful lot. I see some of these in-car camera shots, and the way that your hands move and bounce around so much on the wheel, you don't really realize that you're actually working that hard. If you imagine when you get a shot like this.
Okay, free room in front of Brabham. I mean, clean air. Go for it, says Geoff. Oh, and you know, there was one other thing that has to be playing a little bit on Geoff Brabham's mind. We haven't mentioned it up until now, but his lovely bride, Rosina, who in her own right is one of the fastest jet ski competitors on a professional level. She was just injured, apparently quite seriously, hit by a boat.
Well, she was practicing for the jet ski, big jet ski race in Lake Havasu, and somebody in a boat ran her down and broke 4 vertebrae in her back, and she was extremely lucky to have escaped without any, apparently no lasting serious injury.
I asked him about that, and it is in the forefront of his mind, but he says she's tough, and she is here somewhere on the ground.
Yeah, I think Rosina's every bit as aggressive as Geoff is.
I heard she's a lot faster on water. Number 84 car is not on the racetrack there. That is Chip Robinson, and he is circling around. We're in car with him, and I think Robinson has breathed his last. No, it's moving again, isn't it?
It's moving, but I'm not sure where he is.
Robinson was listed in 6th place at the moment, but I think the 6th place just went away.
Yeah, he's got a problem.
The Drivers' Championship. He had a shot at that. In fact, he came into it as one of the favorites to take home a big check.
And it's amazing that he got this far in that position, because Geoff is the #1 driver, and this is a fabulous team, this Nissan team. We can't give all the credit to the drivers, and we can't give it all to the team owner. The crew is put together just marvelously. And the fact that they could get 2 guys in the first place going into the last race is a credit to any crew.
There's Geoff Brabham, your leader, out in front, and we may now be seeing the new individual drivers champion 2 years in a row, Geoff Brabham. But let me move back again, as long as I've got you 2 guys who have both been in the same type of helmets in the same situations. Davey, hang on, spin one around as Brabham went by underneath. It was number 55, the Nicky Lutweiler car, and he's been having a rough last 20 minutes in that particular car. Yeah. But speaking of rough minutes, Davey, walk a mile right now in Chip Robinson's shoes as he's sitting there dead motor. What's through his mind?
He's got to really just be brokenhearted about it all, to come so far and to race so hard and so competitively against his own teammate in the same chassis. You figure that the team has won the championship. Everything's there. They've had a successful year, and it's just down between him and Geoff. And to just see it just disappear in front of his eyes now, it's going to be a long walk back to the pits.
Wouldn't be a good time to interview him, would it, Joe?
Well, probably not, but Chip's a good competitor, and he is a good sport. The thing is, if you looked at his season on paper, you can't believe he didn't win the championship going away. It's just this Nissan team is so good, and these 2 cars are so good that a performance like he's put on this year and to still not win is pretty incredible.
55, Nicky Lutweiler, I think, is the car that's on your right. As the drivers come at it, it's on their left-hand side. It's not in a good spot. Now we're back on Robinson, and Robinson, they tell me, is out of the car, walking around, not in exactly a big hurry to do anything.
No, this is the end of his season. Looks like a caution.
We are full course yellow, not necessarily for the Nissan that you're looking at. I think we are full course yellow for the number 55 car, the other one that we had a shot of just a few moments ago. And a full course yellow will bunch them back up. And Lammers, while all of this other stuff has been going on, Lammers has put the Jaguar around Bob Earl's Chevrolet and taken over the second place spot. Yellow flag condition on this racetrack. There was another activity here, the Kodak pit stop, that puts an awful lot of money into people's pockets. Let's take a look at how the Kodak pit stop contest went.
Earlier this weekend, downtown San Diego was the site of the final round of the Kodak Copier Pit Stop Contest. 2 teams, the finalists after a full season of competition, race the pit clock as they complete a full tire change, driver swap, refueling, and a windshield wash. On the left, the number 55 Huffaker Pontiac crew, holders of the record pit stop time of 17.197 seconds. On the right, the other team, the 83 Electromotive Nissan team, winners of the 1989 GTP Manufacturers Championship. At a signal from the IMSA officials, the 2 teams faced off for the $20,000 first prize. Huffaker got off to a fast start once it got underway, but the Nissan wasn't up to their usual high standards. The Huffaker team now swapping the tires. Watch this. This is precision work. Meanwhile, the Nissan, apparently there was some miscue, and no one made the change of the tires on the back. Huffaker ended up a brand new record of 15.291, while the Nissan people had a few meetings over how it happened. A happy pit crew celebrated with their richly deserved honor, a big payday, and the realization that the little guys can still win the big one.
That was the best paycheck the number 55 car is going to get, because there is the very same car that won the pit stop contest, and now it's the reason for the yellow flag. The driver out of it, apparently okay, Nicky Lutweiler. Here's the replay. Now keep an eye on this. There's 9, and here comes 55, apparently with some help. It kind of looked, John Morton, like he might have had assistance.
That's a real fast place, and not a place you'd likely spin like that in a light car.
What a strange spin-off. They won all of that money in the Kodak pit stop contest, and their day ends early. The day isn't over at Del Mar, though. Come on back and watch Geoff Brabham go to work.
Does your sanding disc act like a runaway train? Get back on track with Rotoflex. It never runs away. Look, ordinary sander attachments are rigid. They vibrate out of control on flat surfaces. But Rotoflex has a flexible shaft that absorbs vibration. It operates smoothly on doors, walls, or any flat work. For curved surfaces, just tighten this nut and you have perfect control on rounded corners or delicate work like this. Sick of those flimsy discs that shred and tear? It's like destroying money. But the Rotoflex disc lasts 100 times longer. They're so strong they can sand down a nail. And look, the discs attach with Velcro. Easy on, easy off. Yet they won't come loose until you remove them. You get hours of sanding from a single disc. To clean, just use a piece of plastic. It's almost like magic. But wait, Rotoflex comes with this amazing drill clamp that turns your drill into a complete workshop. Rotate it any way you want to give you a powerful grinder and more. Precision sharpen your clippers. Put a new keen edge on that axe. Sharpen lawnmower blades like a pro. Even a heavy steel file can't damage these discs. Rotoflex is the most useful tool you'll ever own. And if you order now, you'll also receive this power polishing pad as a special bonus. The genuine lamb's wool won't scratch any finish. Just look at that shine. You get the complete Rotoflex workshop. It's a sander. It's a grinder. It's a sharpener. It's a polisher. It's an entire system for only $29.95. Order yours now.
Call toll-free 1-800-336-7272. That's 1-800-336-7272. Or send $29.95 plus $5 shipping and handling to Rotoflex, 2 Morgan Avenue, Norwalk, Connecticut. For fastest delivery, use your credit card and call 1-800-336-7272.
It's a Sunday night NFL schedule jammed with key interdivisional rivalries. Sunday night NFL returns November 5th when the Cowboys face the Redskins. Live on ESPN.
Welcome Welcome back to Del Mar, California. It is the IMSA season finale. I'm Bruce Flanders, along with John Morton, and joining us here in the booth, kind of a guest announcer, is Davy Jones. And Davy, there's been a couple of changes on this racetrack right now as we're under yellow. The one key one is the number 4 Camel Light car, Scott Schubot. Apparently there's been a driver's change, and Ludeman is now, Linda Ludeman behind the wheel.
It really has. She's been sitting there sweating it out, waiting if she's, because underneath the rules, like John had said earlier, that they have to go 2 laps. Is the caution going to remain out 2 more laps where they can come in, make another driver change before they lose too long? Maybe she'll stay into the finish.
How is she as a driver? You've seen her.
I think she doesn't really deserve all the amount of time that she needs in the car, but once she gets into the car, gets more confident in it, and puts the hammer down, she's quick.
That's Scott Schubot right there, standing by, and he's still got his helmet on, like he's going to jump right back in the car, John.
Yeah, I don't think he wants it to go green with her in the car, because everybody would then know that she's probably faster than he is.
Okay. Is she that good?
Who knows? He never gives her a chance.
All right. Well, 2 laps, according to the rule book, she must complete because there has to be a driver change in the light category. And Schubot is like he's pacing up and down like somebody's going to give birth or something here.
You see those hoses that he's holding in his hand coming out from underneath the helmet. That is a cool suit that he's wearing to maintain fluid through your body, to keep your body temperature at about 50 degrees. When I saw her earlier,
they better plug him back in because he looks pretty hot right now.
He looks hot, but I think that she's tough. She didn't have one when she got in the car.
Okay. Well, there she is at the very back of the pack, and this is the completion of at least 1 lap, maybe 2. Yeah. Let's go down pit side. Maybe more on that story, or maybe some other story. Ralph Sheheen, go for it.
Okay, well, we're down here with a very anxious Scott Schubot. Scott, is she coming around next lap to get in?
Yes, I'll be getting in next lap to do the rest of the race.
Okay, now they put a full fuel load when you got out of the car. Are they going to change tires when she gets out?
No, we'll go on the same tires. They'll be fine.
Okay, he's getting a little bit nervous. He's chasing the championship. Scott Schubot about to mount back up.
And it looks like that championship will be his. I mean, I don't think they actually have to go another lap further with the amount of cars in their class.
No, I think he's got the championship wrapped up because there aren't enough cars in the race to be ahead of him.
She's not only a very capable driver, she's a very gracious lady because there's been pressure. There's been questions from guys like us in television. It must make it tough on her.
Yeah, it does. It makes it tough, and I'm sure she'd like to be in there and a part of it, but who knows what the ratio is. Maybe he pays the bills.
Davey, I understand they've got to take you back out of the booth, and you've got places and commitments for Jaguar that you have to go. But one more prediction. Is Lammers been holding back, and is Lammers going to go after it from second?
Boy, you know, this yellow, it really gives the driver a chance to regather his thoughts and focus on what he has to do to go to the finish, and he cools down a bit. And I know that these drivers, Geoff, Brabham, Bob Earl, and Jan Lammers, they all have a dollar sign in their eye. And I want to thank Camel for putting up the pyramid money this year. It's been a real tremendous help to everybody, and it makes it a real good last season bonus. And it's a big one this weekend.
180,000 arena sports coverage. There haven't been a number that big.
Just think, I missed out to sit in the booth with you, Bruce.
That's right. You're sitting here in plaster saying, I'm never going to wash the car again, right? Davey, again, on behalf of all of us at ESPN, thank you for your time. And if you get another moment, please stick by us. But you've added a lot to our broadcast.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to next season in the IMSA GTP series with Castrol and Jaguar.
Okay, good luck to you there. The door, Linda had the door open for just a second. Does that mean she wants to get out a little short of the car and not talk to Schubot again?
I don't know. She's getting ready to make a quick pit stop, I think. It's a shame that she doesn't get to drive. They've kind of defeated the purpose of this rule, this team, because they made the rule so they have twice as many drivers get a chance to race, I think, and she never gets a chance.
Well, here she is, coming back out after what I counted unofficially as 3 laps or so.
2 or 3 yellow flags.
The letter of
right,
the law.
right, but that's not the reason the rule was written.
And I understand there might be some rewrite to that rule.
I should hope so, because it's really been kind of a mockery.
Well, yeah. Okay, well, Scott Schubot is now back into the car. They're strapping him in, and we're going to be going racing again in just a little while. At the moment at Del Mar, we're under a yellow flag with a lot of racing left. Join us again.
You can sweat up a storm. You can dance till you drop. But if you're serious about a firmer stomach, you've got to use your head.
Fitness Quest presents Tummy Talk with Charlene Tilton.
I work hard to stay fit, and I love it. But holding on to a great waist takes special attention. So I'm glad I discovered this lean, mean sit-up machine. The one and only Abdominizer. It's a major innovation in fitness technology. And it lets you rock your way to a firmer stomach. Ordinary sit-ups use muscles in your hips and thighs and can hurt your back.
But the Abdominizer was designed by a doctor
To create an automatic pelvic tilt, reduce the use of hip flexors,
and place greater demand on the stomach muscles themselves.
it's as close as science has come to the perfect sit-up. The streamlined super sit-up that delivers more benefits in less time than ever before. The patented Abdominizer positions you perfectly for working the upper abdominals while cradling the lower back and cushioning the tailbone. Knees in like this work the lower abdominals. And this built-in rocker mechanism lets you exercise those hard-to-work lateral obliques.
You know, those love handles.
Change hand positions for 3 different levels of abdominal action.
To get a firmer stomach in just minutes a day. The Abdominizer really works for me. And it can work for you, too. So if you're serious about your stomach, call toll-free now.
Over 1 million satisfied customers. To order your Abdominizer, call 1-800-242-7400. That's 1-800-242-7400. Use your credit card to avoid COD charges or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling to Abdominizer, Department 20, Canton, Ohio 44750. That's Abdominizer, Department 20, Canton, Ohio. But for faster service, call 1-800-242-7400.
To Del Mar, California, actually the 22nd Agricultural District Fairgrounds, and you are on board with the leader of this event, Geoff Brabham. Brabham, who appears to have tied up the individual drivers' championship because there has been a retirement by his teammate in the number 84 car. And we are green. Boy, just that quick, we are green. And here comes Lammers. Oh, no. Let's see what happens in turn 1. And Brabham maintains the lead. Oh, shoot.
Tires. That was a little too early on the throttle with cold tires.
That is the battle for the lead. I've got a car off.
Costas Los.
Costas Los is beyond the announcing booth here at turn 2, the number 33 car, but that's the battle for the lead that you are watching. And Lammers wants him. They're going to race back to what may be another yellow flag, depending on the situation. And Lammers will try to get to him before they see that yellow flag. This could be a pressure move. Lammers, he's no weak hitter here at Del Mar. He won it last year in teaming with Martin Brundle, and he can get around this Fairgrounds track in a hurry. Coming up on the Nissan, right on the Nissan.
You tried him in one of the few places you can pass on this course, but they're going to be back to the yellow. I can't believe that the whole course isn't going to go yellow, but it hasn't yet.
There is a yellow flag right in front of our booth, but they tell me there will probably not be a full course yellow. They'll be coming up on it in a few seconds, and we'll be able to show you the incident. It is just a one-car incident, well clear of the driving line. Well, not really that well clear. And we have gone to a waving yellow at start-finish line. There is a waving yellow at start-finish line, which tells them to hold their position and exercise caution. And there is the incident with number 33, Costas Los.
Yeah, he was, at the time he was running in 6th place. He was doing quite a good job. He was a lap down, though.
And that car will not continue. The right side.
Looks like he got caught with the cold tires and didn't save it like Geoff did.
Yeah, Geoff Brabham nearly had it in almost exactly the same thing at that very corner.
You go into that first corner and you're racing hard on a restart, and you don't forget the tires are cold, but sometimes you have a little bit of lapse.
A little over 20 minutes left in the race, and Ralph Sheheen has one of the key players in this event. Go, Ralph.
Well, Bruce, unfortunately, we got somebody that ended up not being a key player in this race at the outcome of it. It started to look that way at the beginning for Chip Robinson. Chip, what went wrong with the car?
Well, first, I think I had a tire go down. I had to come in and get some tires, and I really lost a lot of time there. And then what finally put me out was a rear axle broke. The racetrack here is really rough, and it just takes a real pounding, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if a few other people had axle problems.
Well, the championship slipped out of your hands, but if you had to lose it to somebody, it might as well at least be your teammate.
Well, I've had a great year, and I have no complaints. I mean, I've really enjoyed driving with Geoff, the Electromotive team, and the Nissan car is the best race car I've ever driven, and, you know, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm happy for Geoff.
Well, for Chip Robinson, it'll be a brand new race car next year for the Electromotive team. Let's go back upstairs to Bruce Flanders.
A gracious man who chose his words carefully.
Well, I think he meant it. He's a good guy.
We're coming back once again to Del Mar. We're under the pace car, and there is your leaderboard. Join us again.
out for October excitement on ESPN. See the best ever team crowned at the Dream Bowl. Watch hard-hitting action on college football Saturday. See top golfers vie for the Nabisco Championship. Watch Olympic hopefuls battle at the U.S. team trials. Fall out in October with ESPN and TCI when you play Cable Close-Up. Pick up your monthly game card at participating Wendy's or TCI cable offices. Cable TV, it's what you want.
Of your screen. And let's join, with less than 10 minutes of racing left, let's join Chris Economaki in the pit lane.
Hey, Don, you have the championship. You have the championship. How hard will he race the Jaguar?
Well, I mean, there's a lot at stake here, so he'll probably be going pretty hard.
Okay, good luck. Thanks very much, Chris.
A lot at stake. $180,000 to win. The five cars we'll give the best shot to are all together closely. Number 83, Geoff Brabham. Number 60, John Lammers, the Nissan and the Jaguar, respectively. Number 64, Bob Earl, the Chevrolet powered Spice. Number 99 in the 4th place spot, Willie T. Ribbs. And in the 5th place spot, number 86, Jochen Mass, who's been a winner here before in the streets. And John Morton for $180,000 to win. Are we going to look at a trophy dash about 5 minutes long?
I think we are. You know, almost anybody would do almost anything for $180,000, so I think we're about to see it.
Still the pace car. Lights apparently still on the pace car at this moment, right? And we are maybe coming around to a green flag. $180,000 to win. $30,000 for second place. It doesn't take H&R Block to tell you second isn't the good deal.
No, that's a $150,000 discount for second place.
Let's look at the lights now. Leading currently in lights is number 9, and Tom Hessert is behind the wheel of that. Number 4, Scott Schubach is second place in lights and will win the championship in Camel Lights. Number 19, Ferdinand de Lesseps and John Cochran. Cochran is behind the wheel now. Number 63, Jim Downing behind the wheel in 4th place light, and 79, Don Bell behind the wheel, and has had a lot of problems today. In fact, people have been using him like a bumper strip a couple of times.
Yeah, they had a problem with that car. They had a bad crash in practice, and they were fortunate to get it together enough to even race.
Pace car's gone. If you're going to get out Bruce Flanders' crystal ball, you're going to watch turn 1 in just a moment. The pace car should, I think, be getting out of the way. The starter is no longer. Yep, it's green. Now watch him under braking here in turn 1. The Jaguar will make, no, not a try yet. Gosh, not a try yet.
Brabham went wide. Brabham went a little too deep, and he went wide, and Lammers got underneath him.
$180,000. Now it's just $30,000. Geoff, will you get him back for the money?
He'll do his best.
Picking the speed back up. Want to keep you abreast of the fact that there's approximately 4 minutes of racing left. 4 minutes roughly in this 2-hour-long Grand Prix.
Lammers has really taken off. I don't understand this. There's too big a gap for that quick.
Yeah, Brabham's car seems to be stuttering because Bob Earl is right on him, too. The Jaguar at speed. Let's take it. Here's a look back at turn 1. What happened? Watch him go. Brabham went
a little bit too deep. He went in fine, but he was a little too deep, and he went wide, and there goes Lammers.
What Davy Jones predicted, he'd been saving tires, saving cars, saving everything. And now you're looking at the new leader, the Kestrel Jaguar. The Jaguar that won here last year. Lammers wants to repeat.
Well, Lammers has lost a lot of money to Brabham this year in that Nissan, and I think this is his chance to make some of it back up.
Good race for second place now as the number 64, Bob Earl, is definitely knocking on the back door of the Nissan, and he says $30,000 for second. I'll take that in a New York minute. In the 4th place spot is 99, Willie T. Ribbs, and then 86, Jochen Mass, the only other repeat winner here of Del Mar, listed in 5th and not far off of this action.
This is about as close as you see one of these races, a 2-hour race on this kind of a track with attrition and 5 good cars running for the lead at the end.
There's a look at Geoff Brabham as he flies up, and there's a look at Bob Earl, the 2 principals fighting for that $30,000 second place check.
Lammers is already out of sight.
What, Lammers? Was he holding back all this time? Come on, can you hold back?
I don't think he was holding back, but he's got something left. Brabham may have a slight problem.
About 2 minutes left in the event. Now, for those of you that will go in the car with Brabham and see the sun glaring off of his windshield some and watch him fight in the car there.
Yeah, this track is just brutal on drivers, but they, fortunately for them, have had a lot of caution, so they've had some resting time.
Yeah, the Jag is in turn 2. The second place battle is coming out of 1. As they go around, you cannot see the Jaguar there. You just see a piece of him as he disappeared in turn 3.
He's got a couple seconds on Brabham now, which is amazing in 2 laps. It's really surprising. He did have something in the bag. I don't know where it came from.
That's Schubert and DeLesseps. That's the battle for second place in Camel Lights on the race cars. And Schubert probably grinning from ear to ear right now because the championship is his.
Yeah, he's got it made. He's just having fun now. There's no more pressure on him.
The number 9 car, who is not in the picture, is leading the Camel Lights division here at Del Mar, and with just those few moments left in this race, quite possibly the guy who will be accepting the biggest trophy on the trophy stand in Lights. But that second place battle in Lights, not very far apart.
No, that's a really good race.
Second place overall, Jeff Brabham and Bob Earl. Those are the 2 of them that just went by you. The yellow car, Bob Earl, is 3rd. Brabham in the red, white, and blue Nissan is in 2nd. And they're coming to the sweeper, if you call one that here.
Well, Earl really sucked him up on brake. Oh, right on his tail. Almost.
Do they bump? I mean, is this like a sprint car or a midget will occasionally nerf the other guy just to let him know?
Well, on a sprint car or a midget, it's more regularly done, but it happens here, especially on these street tracks where you almost have to nudge your way by.
Underneath, out of the bottom of
there goes Brabham blocking.
Went the leader, and here's Brabham. Brabham making sure that Bob Earl wasn't getting a good line on.
Yeah, Brabham has a problem. I would suspect brakes now from that move because he put himself in a position where Bob couldn't outbrake him, and he knew that, I think Geoff knew that he was vulnerable.
He's now driving with a defensive posture, right?
You might say that.
Okay, because Bob Earl is taking the offense right now.
He's all over him.
There's your overall leader, and we're coming to the end of the 2 hours here at Del Mar. Lammers working smoothly, absolutely free and clear on the racetrack. The battle for second place, still a dramatic one.
Well, Earl's got 1 or 2 more chances, and this is one of the spots where he might do it if he can get underneath him.
Closes up tight. Closes up.
There he goes.
Inside. Is this going to be enough? Brabham kept the sweet spot.
Brabham can't hold him off for long. If the race ends in the next 2 laps, he might be able to pull it off.
Watching those 2 because they are the best race, but again, granting you the fact that the Jaguar is in front of it all, and checker flag time. John Lammers has won the 3rd Camel Grand Prix of Southern California at Del Mar. His 2nd. He's been 2 out of 3 times the winner. Second place will go to number 83, Jeff Brabham. 64, Bob Earl, 3rd. 99, Willie T. Ribbs in 4th. And 86, Jochen Moss for the 5th place spot. In the Lights division, Scott Schubert ended up, or did he? Let's watch and see. There is Schubert. Schubert is the new leader, has passed Ferdinand de Lesseps, and Schubert is going to come home, it looks like, in that Infinity car with the win in Lights and the championship in that division this year. Checkered flag, there is the new Camel Lights overall champion, Scott Schubert, who is sharing, obviously, the driving chores with Linda Ludeman. Ferdinand de Lesseps will get 2nd in Lights, and it appears as though number 9, Tom Hessen, for 3rd. Cool down lap for the Jaguar.
Boy, what a race. The Jaguar, last year it was a little fluky how it won because it won on a tire deal with a slippery track, but he earned it the hard way.
Okay, well, we're coming back. Victory Circle, the party, all of it. Take a look at the leaderboard. Join us once again at Del Mar.
Pool, Steve Miserak, the master. Pretty Boy Floyd, the hustler. Eva Mataya, the leading lady. Now come together to bring you the ultimate in pool instruction videos. Pool, the master's way. Steve Miserak, the master, and 3-time world champion, reveals his secrets of 8-ball, 9-ball, and straight pool, and teaches you breaks, banks, angles, English, strategy, and more. Pretty Boy Floyd, the world's greatest hustler, shares with you his magic cue ball control with the masse, the jump, the power draw,
Becoming world champion was no accident. I've learned from past masters. Now I'm going to teach you what they taught me. Plus some secrets nobody knows but me. Take it from me, the Miz, the master. If you play pool, you must have this video.
Call 1-800-352-POOL. That's 1-800-352-7665. Or send $24.95 plus $3.50 shipping and handling to Pool the Masters Way. P.O. Box 5075, New York, New York, 10185. Call now, 1-800-352-POOL.
The spectacle, the sights, the sound. The fall colors are spectacular on ESPN's college football.
Touchdown! Holy cow!
ESPN hits you with television's most complete schedules, the only place to see all the major conferences. We'll show our true colors on College Football Saturday, live on ESPN.
Under the now blazing Southern California sunshine, it's time for the Sears Die Hard Winner's Circle, brought to you by the Die Hard Battery. Now with more power when you need it most. Let's join Chris Economaki.
Okay, here we are with a happy winner, Jan. 2 years in a row for Jaguar, this time with only half the number of cylinders. Were you saving things for the end?
I was actually, because Prix had some brake problems in the beginning, so I adjusted my brake balance so I could save my front pads. Towards the end of the race, I put it fully to the front, and it was really going well, so I was very happy.
$180,000. Can you handle that?
I can handle it,
okay.
And I had the two.
Good luck to you, Jan.
Thank you.
And now let's go down the road to my colleague, Ralph Sheheen.
Thank you, Chris. We got Geoff Brabham with us. Geoff, what happened on the last lap? How did he get around you?
Well, it seemed like my tires would take a really long time to warm up after the restart. I nearly spun on coming out of the first turn on the restart just before. And I just got in a little bit deep and locked the brakes up and it wouldn't turn. So, you know, I just thought that winning the championship was more important than winning the race right then. And so I just, you know, kind of tried to finish the race.
Well, Bruce, everybody's yanking on his elbow. He is the 1989 Camel GT champion. Congratulations,
okay,
Geoff.
thank you very much.
Back to you, Bruce.
Thank you, and boy, he is a gracious winner, too. The average speed, 67.593. We've still got winners we're going to talk to, so join us once again here in Del Mar. 30 laps under caution, 3 caution periods, and we're not done.
There's a rough road ahead with no end in sight. Quaker State engines don't know when to quit.
Quaker State is quality engineered to exceed every single American, European, and Japanese car maker's U.S. requirements for maximum engine protection.
So pistons are protected from friction mile after mile. Valves are protected from wear year in, year out.
That's why Quaker State engines run strong and run long.
Quaker State engines don't know when to quit.
The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
Come on, you better hurry up. Come on, you better hurry up.
It's here. Walt Disney's masterpiece, Bambi, now on video cassette. And Crest is proud to help make it yours.
Hello, Bambi. Hello, Bambi.
When you buy any 2 Crests and Bambi on video cassette, you'll not only get back $3, you'll get laughter, love, and excitement. It's an offer from Crest that'll make everybody smile.
You're watching ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
Today's race has been brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil. The big Q stands for quality, always has, always will. By Volkswagen, cars at an honest value for over 40 years. By the Die Hard Battery, now with more power when you need it most. And by Dunlop high-performance tires. Dunlop outperforms. The business of celebration is not done. Once again, let's join Chris Economaki somewhere near Victory Circle.
We're down here with the Lights winners and the new Lights champion, Scott Schubert and his lady, Linda Ludeman. Now listen. Dale Earnhardt won a race in Carolina, and he gave his Chevrolets away at cost the next day. Are you going to reduce the price of those McDonald's hamburgers down in Florida at your places for this victory?
Yeah, I think we already do that. We do it quite a bit, actually. McDonald's helps pay for this, so I got to give them credit for that.
Now, we're talking about giving credit. Let's give this lady some credit. How much help was she?
Oh, Linda's been help all year. She's allowed me to win the championship. Without her help, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
What's your payoff?
I get to ride home on the plane with them and listen to them. It'll be pleasant instead of riding home on a separate plane if things didn't work out.
Okay, so here are the Happy Lights winners and champions in IMSA Camel Lights. Let's go back to Bruce Flanders.
That is a very gracious lady right there. And thank you, Chris Economaki. I'd like to thank John Morton, too, up here in the booth, and Ralph Sheheen, who we nearly wore out his tennis shoes up and down pit lane, and Davy Jones in the category called guest announcer. He fills those shoes quite well. Let's take a look at some of the stats. Here's the final results overall. Number 60, John Lammers taking the win. Jeff Brabham second, Bob Earl, Willie G. Ribbs, and fifth was Jochen Moss, a winner here before. Rounding out the top 10 overall, Jean-Louis Ricci, Bryce Cobb, Enrico De Benedetti, Scott Schubach, ninth overall, first light, and John Cochran, 10th overall and second light in today's race. For the season, though, in the GTP category, Jeff Brabham, the Drivers' Championship. Chip Robinson, second. Bryce Cobb, third. John Nielsen credited with fourth. And John Andretti rounds out the top 5 individually in GTP. In the lights, there's Scott Schubach at the top of the list. Charles Morgan, second. Tom Hessert, third. Jim Downing, fourth. And Howard Katz, fifth in total points for lights at the end of the year.